Hello everyone, and welcome to this case study. And in this case study, I'm going to show you how we were able to get a calendar packed with sales calls just like this for my last client, Thomas. And he went from having a calendar that looked like this in January, so very empty. See, he was getting about 5 calls a week, a little bit more, maybe 7 calls a week, to getting 7 calls per day when working with me and my agency. So as you can see on the screen here, there's a ton of calls. He had to cancel some of them, but they went from generating about $40,000 per month on average to closing more than $140,000 in just the first 2 weeks of March. And here's a proof for that. So I asked them, how much did we collect in USD last week and over the past 3 weeks? And they say so far as of today, March 18, 100,000 pounds in cash collected and 124,000 pounds in contracted revenue. So that would be $164,000 in the first 18 days of March. And Thomas's company is called MinPrep. They're operating in the European market, but the system that we use for them works in every country, like especially the United States, because US prospects are usually more easy to close, more easily closable than European prospects. So there's more money in the US. So let me reassure you, all of what I'm going to show you today is applicable to your market. So I'm going to show you the whole process from A to Z, from where we took Thomas when he was doing 40K a month to generating $164,000 in 18 days. Let's get right into it. So the first thing that I asked Thomas is I sent him a document with a bunch of questions to get a better hold of his, offer, competitive advantages, and just overall, unique selling points that his company has compared to other companies. So he went ahead and replied to all of the questions that I had. And then we went on creating what I call the QLM system. So what's the QLM system? It's a very advanced VSL funnel that we build on a CRM called Go High Level, as you can see on my screen. And the system looks a little bit like this. We called the funnel the endgame funnel, because this is the only funnel that they're gonna ever need to scale to $300,000 to $500,000 per month in cash collected. So that's why I called it the endgame funnel. So it's a 4-page funnel with a VSL page, a call booking page, a thank you page, and a disqualify page. So let's take a look at the VSL. So Thomas helps students get into their dream schools for bachelor's and master's degrees. So we went ahead and created a VSL disguised as a training explaining why top students get rejected from their dream schools. So those schools are schools in the UK, mainly in Europe. So Oxford, Cambridge, LSE, Imperial, LBS, HEC, INSEAD, and other top universities. So this is, the dream of the prospects that land on this page. So they're very entitled, it's very enticing for them to play the video, and we get a very good play rate on this video. About 50% of people who land on this page actually go ahead and play the video.
If you're watching this right now, you're probably applying to one of the most competitive universities in Europe. Maybe it's Oxford, Cambridge, LSE, Imperial, LBS, HEC Paris, ESSEC, Bocconi, ETH. And if you're like most students who end up on this page, you probably have some version of the same question running through your mind. Am I doing this right? Because here's what nobody tells you until it's too late. Every single year, thousands of qualified students apply to this course. Students with strong grades, solid test scores.
So this video is about 12 minutes long, so I'm not gonna play everything, but it's pretty much the VSL. So it's called a video sales letter, and I scripted it for Thomas and this company. So let me just go ahead and grab the script. So they got 2 offers. They're helping people with bachelor's and master's. So we scripted a VSL to have a messaging that is relevant to both students that want to apply for a bachelor's and students who want to apply for a master's degree. So if we end up working together, I'm gonna send you a document just like this with a VSL that is broken down in different sections. So there's about 7 sections that really allow to convert cold traffic into very interested prospects and people that actually know more about your service or your offer and really want to book a call with you in order to discuss the details of the offer and maybe become a client. Usually the first section is just a pattern interrupt and stakes. So this is a way of very engaging the audience and really explaining to them why they should go ahead and spend 10 minutes of their own time watching your VSL. And that's something that is very, very important because it usually makes or breaks the viewing time for prospects. So it's very important to nail this section down. Then we go ahead and explain, either if you're an individual consultant or coach, we explain who you are, but we can brand it as explaining what the company is, and just not talking for the whole company instead of just one person. But in this case, it explains who Thomas is and why people should listen to him, and it just goes on about explaining the story of the company and how he founded it, etc., etc. Section number 3 is talking about the biggest pains and the problem that people have and what most insert prospect ICP get wrong. In this case is what most students get wrong, and it's just a section that really allows to create a little bit of pain in the prospect's mind because they're very much more aware of their problem, and it also allows to reframe their way of thinking as well, because we explain what most students get wrong, and then it allows us to really shift their mentality and thinking when it comes to the specific offer that we're promoting. So if they had any wrong beliefs or limiting beliefs about the offer, it really allows us to reframe their way of thinking and transform them into potential clients. Section 4 is it's very specific to Thomas's case. It's a section about what universities actually evaluate, but it can be anything else related to the problem of your ICP that we can switch here for this section. Section 5 is explaining how the company works, how the offer works, what's the service, and what's the promise. So the company name is MimPrep. It's just a section that explain how they're unique compared to their competition, and it really allows to position your company as the best option for prospects and as a premium option. Section 6 is proof and social proof to back the claims that we made during previous sections. And what's good with Thomas is that they had a lot of social proof, so they helped over 400 or 500 students get into their dream universities. So that's something that we could leverage. We could leverage different individual stories. For example, here Mary or Tanguy or Lucas. There's a lot of mini case studies that we can add within the VSL script, and that worked really well. And then section 7 is just about the next steps and the call to action for the people who view your VSL. We pretty much tell them what to do next. And what we like to tell them to do next is to book a free advisory call with your team, which is in reality a sales call, but we frame it as a way to give more value to the prospect. So during this call, we explain that they're going to discover a bunch of things about their problem and how they can solve it. In this case, it's where their positioning is weak, whether they're truly competitive for their dream schools, what needs to change in their application strategy to maximize their chances of acceptance, how the company works, etc., etc. In your case, that would be something different, but it's just our way of including some kind of lead magnet in the funnel, so people can actually understand that they're first of all, it doesn't cost them anything to book a call with your team, and second of all, that they're going to learn a bunch of things from this call. And then if you're good, you can close these prospects because they're very interested in your services. They're aware of their problem, they're aware that they need a solution, and they're aware that your company is the best company to actually go ahead and provide a solution to their problem. So that's the first page. We include a little bit of scarcity and urgency as well. We say that they're limited availability. Here we say that they can only accept 120 students per year, and we also say that the spots are filling up fast and they need to apply now and they need to book a call. So once they click on this button here, they're taken to this application form, and this is the best way to date that we found to triage and qualify prospects. So you end up with only qualified prospects in your calendar, and you do not end up with people who, one, either don't have the money, or two, aren't qualified, depending on the requirements of your offer and ICP. ICP being ideal customer profile. So let me just show you the form that they need to fill in before being invited to book a call, and it's this form. So we split tested this funnel 4 times to get it right, and this form is the best to get calls at a fairly cheap cost, like sales calls at a fairly cheap cost, but still very qualified sales calls and very high quality prospects. So first we ask them if they're a student or a parent, in this case for Thomas's offer, then which kind of program they're applying for, bachelor's degrees or master's degrees. And by the way, his target audience is about 80,000 people wide. So you don't need massive audiences of millions of people to make this work. A few, tens of thousands of people is enough to have a system that generates about 7 to up to 15 sales calls a day if you'd like to, depending on what you spend on ads. So we asked them about the program that they're applying for, the universities that they're targeting, so top UK schools, top French business schools, top Italian European schools, top US universities, or top Canadian universities. What's the biggest challenge that they're facing with their admission process right now? So they've got 6 options. When are they planning to apply, to make sure that these people are qualified to pay for the service or the offer now and not in 5 years time. Then it's a question about budget, to filter if people have money from people who aren't ready to invest. So we say that MimPrep is a premium all-inclusive mentorship. If accepted, are they financially comfortable in investing several thousands of euros in professional guidance, or in your case we could say dollars. Question 7 is about asking them if they schedule an advisory call, will they actually be able to attend at the scheduled time, just to make sure that people actually show up and increase the show up rates on the booked calls that we get. The current show up rate that we get is about 60%, because we're also sending them a bunch of emails to make sure that they show up, and a bunch of text messages as well. And we nurture them to an email sequence that is adding value to their life, because we're explaining some stuff about the pains that they have, and we're getting a pretty good show rate thanks to that. And then the last question is that we're asking them for the contact details, so we can send them the link for their advisory call, and they just have to fill in their first name, last name, phone number, and email, and then that allows us to have their contact info to even contact them if they went through this application form and ended up not booking a call. We saw that about 70% of people who fill in this form end up booking a call. And let me just show you the data behind the ad spend that goes on this funnel, towards this funnel. Right now they're turned off because we got too many calls for this week, and they're at capacity when it comes to sales calls for the next 2 days. So we're gonna turn these campaigns back on tonight or tomorrow, just to make sure that we are reducing the amount of no-shows, because if people book a call now for 4 days in advance, there's a higher likelihood that they will not attend the call. So we'd rather turn on the campaigns again when we're expecting calls for the day right after, or like 2 days after max. Anyways, we spent on this specific funnel $10,000 so far, and we're getting booked calls for 231 euros, which is about, I think, $260. 231 euros to USD. Yeah, $276. But first of all, these calls are super qualified, and 1 of every 4 calls ends up being a client. And at a 60% show rate, we can even double that. Let's say that 1 call costs 460 euros, which would be around $500. 1 of every 4 calls converts into a client. That would be a cost of $2,000 per client to acquire a client, and the offer that Thomas sells is around $9,000. So the return on ad spend is very, very healthy, and we're getting a ROAS of over 4x on this campaign. And as I've said, we split tested the funnel 4 times to get it right, and in total we've spent more than $30,000 in the last 40 days to get it right. We split tested different campaigns, different structures. We split tested the application form first instead of the video sales letter first. Let me just show you the page. And we were getting cheaper leads this way with the application form first, but the leads were a little bit less qualified because they were booking without watching the VSL, so they would not always remember what they've signed up for. Anyways, once people complete the survey that I just showed you, and assuming that they're qualified, assuming that they want to apply either this year or next year, and that they have the money, they end up on this call booking page where they can book a sales call with the sales team. So we just break it down saying that on this 45 minutes call, they review their profile and assess their competitiveness. Show them where their positioning is weak, explain how insert company name works from positioning to interview prep, and determine honestly if they can help the prospects get accepted. So in your case, that would be different USPs and different benefits that we can include here. And if people include their phone number in here, let's just say, for example, plus all right, that's fake information, by the way. All right, continue. Then they're able to book a call at the available times that the closing team has. So as I've said, for Friday, so tomorrow, there's not a lot of availability, only 3 slots. That's why we turned the ads off. On the 21st, they're only available from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. So that's only 2 hours of availability, hence why we've turned the campaign off. And on the 22nd, they've got a full day available. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the campaign back on Friday, so we can get leads that are starting to book in for Sunday. All right. Once they, here's where it gets interesting. So once they book a call, and remember, about 70% of the people who fill out the application in here end up booking a call. By the way, the reason why I'm showing you the view on mobile is that about 95% of the traffic that comes on this page use their phone. So 95% of the traffic comes from mobile view. So once they book a call, they end up on the thank you page, and this thank you page is super important, and it's super important that it's structured and built right, in the right way. Because on this thank you page, first of all, we scripted another thank you page video on which Thomas says that people must show up to their call and accept the calendar invite, and then he answers some of the most common questions that he gets. so people can already, you know, have replies to their questions before the call, and that allows them to be super excited to actually attend the call. So I'm gonna just play a few seconds for you guys.
So much for booking admission strategy call with MinPrep. My name is Thomas, I'm the founder, and I wanted to take a few minutes to walk you through what happens next and answer some questions you probably have. So first thing, you should have received a confirmation email with the date, time, and link for your call. If you don't see it, check your spam folder. Sometimes these emails.
By the way, everything that you're gonna see on this funnel is applicable to my funnel, so the process that you're actually gonna go through, and that will allow you to get a real-time example of what you're gonna get if we end up signing together. So below this video, you'll get a form that you need to complete to book a advisory call with me, and I invite you to do it. Now you know that it's actually going to be a sales call, but there's no you know, high pressure sales tactics that I'm going to use or anything like that. If you want to sign up and you want to go ahead and do it, then great, we're going to build this whole system for you. If not, you're just going to leave the call with more value and a, you know, roadmap that you can implement for your business in order to get more qualified sales calls in. So getting back to the thank you page, so we get a video here breaking down some of the most common questions. We inform them in advance that our appointment setter will contact them via text messages to actually potentially qualify them and reply to any questions that they may have. So when he's gonna call them, he usually calls them, because in Europe they use something called WhatsApp. It's less common in the States, but it's like iMessage but on a separate app. So when he's gonna call them on WhatsApp, they're gonna see their his profile picture you know, pop up, and they're gonna be way more likely to reply now that they've seen it in the actual confirmation page of their appointment. So Alexander here is getting a very high reply rate to his calls, which is great. Then we just explain to them the timeline leading up to the call, what they need to do and what they can expect. So right now they need to go ahead and check their email for booking confirmation, save Alex's WhatsApp number, watch Thomas's message above, which is the thank you page video, and scroll down to watch breakdown videos. Now breakdown videos are very important. I'm going to go ahead and show you what these videos are, but it's pretty much videos answering some of the most common objections that prospects have in advance, to make sure that they arrive to the call already pre-closed, and that you don't have to spend too much time answering their most common objections. So then within 24 hours, what they need to do, 3 days before the call, what they need to do, 1 day before the call, what they need to do, and the day of their call, what they need to do as well. How to prepare for the call: think about their target schools, identify their biggest concerns, understand their timeline, prepare their parents, and write down any questions that they may have. Now, here are the breakdown videos. So we call them the Q&A videos. And it's pretty much videos explaining some stuff about your company, and in this case, Thomas's company. So here are the most common questions that they get. The first one is, what is the process at MinPrep?
Hey, so one of the most common questions I get on these calls is, what is the process at MinPrep and how do you actually help students? I'm going to give you...
And these videos are about 3 minutes long each, replying some of the most common questions that people have. So second one is, what is their GMAT methodology? It's a very specific to Thomas's offer, so in this case it wouldn't apply to your offer. How they help students get in, so how do you help your clients win with your offer? How do they brief recommendation letters? That could be anything for you. How, you know, I don't know, depending on if you're a coach, consultant, or if you're an agency, that could be different. When should they start? Why they should pay for consulting? How much does it cost? And what if their scores aren't competitive enough to get into their dream schools? And Thomas goes ahead and replies to all of this. And this one is very important. So how much does it cost? Because people already know like a ballpark estimate of what they're going to potentially pay if they end up working with MinPrep. And this allows for way less wrestling when it comes to price on this sales call. And the quality of people that we get onto sales calls with this system is actually insane, because they're already, you know, aware of who Thomas is, what the company does, what are the prices, and that's why we get a close rate of about 30% on those leads. I said 25% earlier just to be conservative, but the real close rate is around 30%. Once they've watched all of these breakdown videos, there's a few critical reminders before their call. So respond to Alex, which is our appointment setter, who just goes ahead and calls all of the leads to pre-frame them and explain to them what the service is and that they're charging high prices for it. If they're okay with the investment, then he confirms their call. And once he confirms their call, Thomas's team closes the prospects at 30% close rate, even 35% sometimes. There's a few reminders about them showing up on time. They need to be ready for honesty. So they're gonna, in this specific offer, if the students aren't qualified to get into their top dream schools, the team is gonna say it to them. But we've revamped their sales process to only get the most qualified students in their calendar by asking for resumes first. So the people that are getting into sales calls are actually very high quality now. But yeah, if they have any questions written down, etc., and then it just goes ahead and explain how the call is gonna go. And then it's just social proof, so testimonials for the offer. If you have any videos that we can leverage for social proof and testimonials, we would definitely include them in this page. Now, if people have applied on the call booking on the VSL page, and ended up either not having the budget or not wanting to, being a customer in the next year or soon. For example, in this offer, we're asking students if they want to apply for this year, next year, or if they're just searching around. If they say just searching around, they're disqualified. This could be something else in your case, but it's pretty much two questions that disqualify prospects. First one is about budgets, and second one is about timeline. If for any reason they either don't have the budget or are looking for a timeline that is too far ahead, they end up on this page. Which is just a disqualification page, thanking them for their interest in your company, but we just explain in a very, very polite way that it's not the best fit for the company right now. So you're only really getting a very high quality applicants and sales calls in your calendar. So the scheduling call that we use is called iClose for calls, and I can even show you for further proof that, right now, the settings are that Thomas has very limited availability because he's closing the calls himself and he's going to be traveling. So Tuesday and Wednesdays are actually turned off, and even on Thursday he's got very limited availability. Hence why you don't see a ton of calls in here, but you can see for Saturday, for example, he's got 6 sales calls and we had to cancel 2, so he had 8 sales calls initially from this system. But let me just show you the past events of the past weeks when he had full availability. So 4 sales calls on Monday, 5 on Sunday, 5 on Friday, 7 on Thursday, 6 on Wednesday. So the system really works. 6 on Tuesday, 8 last Monday on March 9, 4 on Saturday. And let me just show you how many sales calls he was getting before working with us. So he was getting about 1 a day. 1, 4 here, 2 here, 4 here. And the problem is, in order to get those calls, he was spending so much time on content. So LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. Just, it was a never-ending content wheel on which he had to shoot a lot of content and have people manually setting people up in the DMs on Instagram and LinkedIn. It was just a mess, and it was very inconsistent. The best month ever that they had, I think they made about $70,000. And now we're making $70,000 a week thanks to the QLM system, the paid ad system that I just showed you. So it's very very much a game changer when it comes to customer acquisition and qualified leads acquisition. And by the way, at Fueler Growth, we're not a lead vendor, we're not a lead gen agency, we're a booked call agency. So we book qualified sales calls directly into your calendar. There's no other way of saying it. We do not just generate leads, we actually get them booked in your calendar, and we do not charge you per lead or per appointment. It's a setup fee and a monthly retainer. So even if we allow you, like Thomas, to collect $164,000 in 18 days, we're not going to charge you a percentage of that revenue. It's going to be a fixed fee. It's going to be a high fee, of course, because the service is very valuable and we are actually helping you like triple or quadruple your business. But the good thing for you is that what you pay us is pretty much capped. So my goal with this agency is to have a couple of clients and not making it a big thing, and just allowing me to have a small team of about 6-7 people and about 20 clients max. So you're always going to get top-notch service, and our goal is to keep clients forever, pretty much. To make sure that our revenue keeps being stable and increases with time, and that we actually make you very happy so you can provide us with quality referrals as well. Alright, so that was the system when it comes to the front end acquisition of prospects and of sales calls. And what we've done as well is set up a series of automations, so emails to remind people that they've booked a call that they need to attend. We've also got a series of emails for people who filled out the application form but didn't book out a call, to make sure that they do book a call. And the main workhorse of this automation sequence is this 14-day email nurturing sequence for all leads that are qualified. And on this sequence we send 19 emails over 14 days, just giving a lot of value to the prospect to make sure that they actually want to show up for the call, because if they get a lot of value, they're going to be very enticed to actually have a conversation with you if they think that you can help them. So yeah, there's a lot of emails that are pretty long, going over their most common questions, going over what they can do to improve their situation, to decrease their pains, and how you can help them. So this is very custom, so we need to know more about your offer in order to write this sequence, and it wouldn't be relevant for me to show you the emails one by one here, because you might not be an education consultant like Thomas, and you might be in a totally different field, but that works as well with this system. The other sequence, main sequence that we have, is the breakdown video sequence. So it's just resending prospects a link to see each breakdown video that I showed you earlier individually, one by one, in case they've missed them on the thank you page or if they didn't have time to see them. So we send them over 24 hours, one email every 3 hours, telling them to watch the video. So the first one is what's the process at the company, what's their methodology, etc., etc. And that way they can really be nurtured and have their questions answered before the sales call. That was it for the email sequence. We also send a bunch of SMS texts to make sure that they show up to their calls. And yeah, let me show you. So that was the whole system in order to, once people have seen an ad, to convert them into a qualified sales calls, and to filter the people who are serious from the people who are not. And the last element of this case study that I want to show you before telling you to apply using the form down below is the top of funnel ads that we've created for Thomas. So we've started with a lot of different ads. We've started actually with UGC creators. So for example, Chad here made an ad for us.
One wrong master's application strategy cost my daughter a full year. Here's what I wish I knew sooner. I'm speaking as a parent who almost let my daughter waste a full year. She had everything: strong grades, solid internships, ambition, but the master's application process, overwhelming. The GMAT was stressful, deadlines were tight, and honestly, we didn't know if we were doing it right. Then I found MimPrep on LinkedIn. What stood out immediately was how personal their approach was. They didn't treat my daughter like a number, they worked with her on everything, from GMAT strategy to positioning her profile, rewriting her.
Anyways, the ad is about 1 minute long. We had someone else who had Sharif shoot an ad for us. So this is Sharif. The ad was longer, about 3 minutes.
If you're aiming for LBS, LSE, Harvard, INSEAD, HEC, or ESCP, but you're approaching your master's application the same way as everyone else, this is exactly why strong candidates get rejected every year. Most applicants to these schools aren't weak. They have good grades, solid internships, and a decent profile on paper. Essay templates or surface level advice, MimPrep is not for you. That's not what we do. MimPrep's.
So that's about 3 minutes of arguments about why people should sign up with MimPrep, and we tell them at the end to leave their information to be able to book an advisory call, which is really a strategy call, which is a sales call. And then we had Cosette make a script for us as well. So here's Cosette. I mean, shoot a script, not make a script, because we're the ones writing all of the ad script for you.
One bad master's application strategy can cost you a full year, especially for schools like LBS, INSEAD, or LSE. I'm Sophia, and getting into London Business School felt impossible. My GMAT scores kept climbing, 540, 560, 580, but never high enough. I kept studying harder, buying more materials, following random advice online. Nothing worked. Then I found MimPrep. They didn't just look at my GMAT, they looked at my entire profile. Their team includes people who sat on selection committees at LBS, LSE, and INSEAD. They know exactly what these schools want because they've been on the other side. They helped me build a real GMAT strategy, position my background properly, and prepare for interviews with actual LBS alumni. I went from a 580 to a 700 GMAT. More importantly, I finally had a clear application strategy. A few months later, accepted into London Business School. If you're stuck, doubting yourself, or scared of wasting another year, don't wait like I did. MimPrep only works with serious students who want to get it right the first time. Fill in the form below, tell them your goals and the schools you're targeting. Click learn more and take control of your application. One bad master's app.
All right, so that's the full ad, and for every ad we're testing different hooks, so 5 hooks per ads, up to 7. And if you don't know what a hook is, it's just the first 3 seconds of the ad that is different to capture people's attention in a different way. So for example, this one, hook 1 is:
if you're applying to LBS, LSE, or INSEAD and feel like you're doing everything right but nothing's working, I was there. I'm Sophia.
All right, that's hook 1.
I thought my GMAT score meant I'd never get into London Business School. I was completely wrong. I'm Sophia, and getting
That's hook 2.
One bad master's application strategy.
You just saw this one.
A 580 GMAT got me rejected from LBS. A 700 GMAT got me accepted. Here's what actually changed. I'm Sophia.
All right, so it's just the beginning of the ad that changes to capture people's attention in a different way, and the body of the ad is actually the same. So anyways, we were running these UGC ads that we made for Thomas for a while, but we discovered that putting Thomas on camera himself was performing way better, because that makes sense in terms of congruency, right? If they see either Sharif, Chad, or Cosette that I just showed you and end up on a page with Thomas speaking, they might be like, who is this guy? And asking themselves why they've seen someone different on their Instagram feed compared to the guy who's promoting the service. So we discovered that putting Thomas on camera was performing way better, hence why we scripted 4 different ads for him. So they're a little bit long form, around 2 minutes each. So script 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the best performing one in terms of amount spent is script number 1, which generated in the last, I think, 7 days, 18 appointments, 18 sales calls at a cost of 241 euros, which is about $270, which is super hyper profitable for them, by the way. And if you have a recurring revenue offer, this is just an infinite money glitch for you. But even at a one-time cost or a one-time offer cost, this can be super profitable for you, and that can allow you to scale from a couple tens of thousands a month to a couple 100,000 a month. So anyways, let's take a look at the best performing ad. We had to turn off this one because we were mentioning a school name that Thomas wasn't servicing anymore, so we just turned it off. And let's take a look at this one. So the best performing one at 260 euros per appointment, so hook 6. I'll just play it for you guys.
If you're applying to Bocconi, ESCP, Sciences Po, or ESSEC this cycle, and you don't know the difference between what these schools actually value versus what students think they value, you're positioning yourself for rejection. So here's the reality most students don't understand. You're preparing the most important application of your life by guessing what universities want. You're reading for them online, watching YouTube videos, asking friends who got in a few years ago. But you don't actually know what admission committees are evaluating. You don't know what they're scoring. You don't know how they decide between thousands of qualified applicants. So you submit an application that looks fine to you and they reject it in 2 minutes. Not because you're not qualified, but because you didn't know what they were actually.
Anyways, he goes about the pains and the problems that the prospect have, and then I'll just show you the call to action so you can understand the flow that the prospects go through, because remember, all of these ads are shown on their either Facebook feed or Instagram feed, or Facebook stories or Instagram stories. So once they see all of this, Thomas tells them this.
Profile show you the exact gap in your target schools and your timeline. Once we review, and if you're serious about getting into top European universities, we'll show you exactly how to position your profile for the schools you're targeting. Here's what to do next. Click the link below and answer a few quick questions about your academic background, your target schools, and your timeline. Once we review your answers, if we think we can help you, we'll invite you to book a free strategy call with our team. On that call, we'll review your profile, show you the exact gap in your current positioning, and map out what needs to change for you to be competitive. No charge, no obligation, just a genuine assessment of where you stand and whether we can help. But we only work with students who are serious and committed. So if that's you.
So here you go. You can see that even with Thomas has a slight accent like myself, and it still works. We targeted US, Canadian students, and we were getting Canadian students in the funnel. We're not working with US students so far, but it can work for any market. That's what I'm trying to say. We're targeting the following countries right now: Belgium, Switzerland, Germany, Denmark, Spain, Finland, France, United Kingdom, Greece, Ireland, Italy, Luxembourg, Monaco, Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, and Sweden. So it can work in really any market, as long as people have a real problem and you're solving a real problem for them. So that can work for any consulting firm, any coach, and any potential agency, depending on the margins that you have. Because if you have 70 to 80% gross margins, this system will crush for you, will really crush. If you have thinner margins, like around 40-50%, you might be left with only 20% to 30% margins if you use this system. But if you have healthy profit margins, this system can really crush for you. So that was the whole breakdown of what we did for Thomas, how we helped him go from about $40,000 a month to $164,000 cash contracted, and $140,000 in cash collected in 18 days. If you have any questions, just go ahead and fill out the form below this video and book a call with me, and you'll be able to ask me any questions, and hopefully I can get this system installed for you too. Again, this can work for any coach, any consultant, and any agency, as long as you're solving a real problem, as long that you have a proven offer, as long as your offer is, you've already sold a bunch of clients through either referrals or organic sources. This system can really crush for you. So go ahead and fill out the form below, book a call with me, and I'm really excited to talk with you. By the way, my name was Amin. I'm the founder of Fuel Your Growth, and my goal is to help you scale your business with paid ads and with this QLM system that I put in place for businesses. And yeah, that was the whole case study. Let me think, did I forget anything? I showed you the ads, the scripts, the VSL, the pages. Even showed you the UGC creators that made ads for us. I think I showed you everything. So yeah, go ahead and apply and book a call with me. Thank you so much, and see you on the other side.